What happens if one parent wants to move out of state with the child?
In New Jersey, if one parent wants to move out of state with a child, we refer to that as relocation. Interstate relocation applications are some of the most difficult that the Superior Court has to deal with because it almost invariably means that one parent, the parent who is not the primary custodial parent, will lose time with a child because of a relocation. So when you apply for relocation out of state, you have to recognize that there are a few standards that will apply. First, we look at who has primary physical custody of the child at the time of the application. If primary physical custody is already vested in the parent who seeks to relocate, then we apply a standard. Again, it's the best interest standard, and that's under a case called Bisbing. Now, if the parents share joint physical custody, oftentimes we have to modify custody first so that the parent that seeks to relocate will have primary physical custody, and then the application of best interest of the child standard will apply. So you could have two primary issues to decide. You would have to decide custody, and then you would have to decide relocation. Again, relocation cases almost invariably are some of the most difficult because we always understand that a child is going to suffer some harm by virtue of losing contact with a parent. So what is often the recommended course of action is to think about how much contact your child has with the non-custodial parent before filing that application. You don't want to misrepresent the amount of contact, but if a non-custodial parent is not really exercising parenting time and is somewhat tangential in the life of a child, the application to relocate is going to become much easier. If, on the other hand, the non-custodial parent is very involved, he or she is at every school activity, is at parent-teacher night, is taking the child to religious services, is seeing the child multiple times a week, it's going to be very difficult to prove relocation. Things such as the economic well-being of the parent who wants to relocate, perhaps they have a new job. Sometimes it is necessitated by a new marriage. If they married a partner whose job takes them out of state, there could be any number of reasons for the desire to move, but simply desiring to move does not mean that you will be able to take the child out of state over the objection of the non-custodial parent.